Can you guys believe it's been 2 years since the launch of Mortal Kombat 1? It feels kind of surreal to even say that. Hey, what's up guys? It's Dynasty and we're now 11 months removed from the launch of the final expansion pass, that being Chaos Reigns. And this week would be the 2-year anniversary to the week of Mortal Kombat 1's early access. I do believe that was on the 14th. The actual date for everyone else who did not have early access via the deluxe edition was the 19th. So more or less, it's been 2 years since the launch of Mortal Kombat 1. And I gotta ask you, how do you feel? Has anything changed? I know for me, for the most part, I pretty much feel the exact same way I've felt throughout the entirety of Mortal Kombat 1's life cycle. If anything, I'm more heartbroken now than ever, just because the biggest unkept secret in the gaming biz right now in terms of like WB games upcoming titles is we're probably getting Injustice 3, which means it's going to be a couple years until we see the return of Mortal Kombat. And with this game being the most recent Mortal Kombat game I could just turn on and play, it's just bittersweet because leading into the launch of Mortal Kombat 1, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again, this game's roster is arguably, in my opinion, the best roster we've had in a Mortal Kombat game in a very long time. Seeing the likes of so many 3D era characters finally make a comeback, finally return in this new Liu Kang era was exciting. Everything leading up to the launch of this game was exciting. Granted, some things were sticking out like a sore thumb, like the invasions mode. Initially, I was excited because it kind of seemed like that was going to be almost like a conquest mode, and really all it was a redundant excuse to give us different palette options disguised as an all-new skin. So, don't get me started on all the good and the bad, because I could just sit here for an hour. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I just kind of wanted to see how you guys were feeling, knowing that this is gonna be the last Mortal Kombat game we have for a while. I do understand the Legacy Collection is dropping in a matter of weeks, about 6 weeks, but I mean, like, new stuff from NetherRealm Studios. It sucks, because if the multiplayer aspect, the gameplay wasn't on point, you always had the single-player experience, right? That was always, like, the caveat when it came to Mortal Kombat games. They were the guys, NetherRealm, Midway, that made sure the game was loaded with additional content, so you always had something to do. And from the jump, I always said it, this game felt empty. It felt rushed, despite apparently being the longest they've ever worked on a game in terms of development. It came out in a poor state, and it just sucked because from day one up until they came out and said, we're not supporting this game, it was just controversy after controversy. The Combat League servers were broken. The microtransaction costs for the seasonal fatalities, $10 per skin. They were nickel and diming us. Again, lack of actual modes to play when you weren't playing Combat League. We still don't have online rooms and lobbies for a fighting game made by a big publisher, WB, in 2025. Make that make sense. This game did not launch with crossplay. It took like, 4, 5, 6 months to get crossplay? So if you wanted to play with your friends on other consoles, you had to buy it multiple times. It was rough, guys. It was, for the first time in a very long time, the first Mortal Kombat game that I felt took a step backward. In terms of the actual lore in the story mode. I was excited to potentially get the telling of the great Kung Lao's story. And throughout this, you're probably going to see some ads, because I'm just going to do like a screen recording here, so my bad on that if the editing's a little weird, but trying to keep this formulated and just smooth sailing here, so just heads up. It just sucked to see we were getting a reset of this era, and it just felt like they gave us Armageddon at the end. They went and gave us the multiverse introduction at the very beginning of this new universe. Usually the multiverse cop-out is what you do when you have no other plans and no other ideas. NetherRealm and a certain writer decided to just introduce that on the first game of a new timeline, which essentially gave NetherRealm the ability to just pull things out of thin air from here moving forward. It doesn't give me faith for the future. It makes it seem like they have no confidence in actually telling a proper story. It sucks. The actual story mode is disappointing. The lack of content was disappointing. The fact that my favorite character, Sub-Zero, still to this day is arguably the worst he's ever been in a mainline Mortal Kombat game. It was disappointing. And it sucks because if you go back and watch what I was saying in the beta, the early test stress builds of the game, test stressed, I was enjoying myself. I was having a blast at the time. I didn't really think the cameo system would ruin this game. And I know a lot of you guys love it, but there's no debate here. It made and broke it for a lot of people. You either loved it or you hated it. I guess you could be kind of indifferent, but not really, given the fact that it's the core gameplay element to this game. You were forced to use not one, but two rosters. So I could sit here and talk about cameos for a long time. Funny enough, before the launch of the game, I made a video saying, will the cameos break this game? And I said, yeah, they will. I said it's going to be what determines the success of this game. For the casuals, it was too much. For the hardcore players, they loved it. This is the most casual fighting game in the market. And that's probably why this game is lagging behind Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat X and Cells. The gameplay was polarizing. The story mode was disappointing. The lack of content sucked. Then we had all the controversies, like I mentioned. The microtransactions, bugs, player 2 advantage glitch, the Combat League server is not working. Like, it just never got a break, really. It seemed like when Ghostface came out, that was probably the most positive the community was. It kind of seemed when Ghostface came out that this game was turning a corner. It really did. But again, conveniently, that's pretty much when we found out that the Kombat Pack 3 was going to get canceled. So we never got to see this game make a comeback. And that's something that I think is, as somebody who hates this game in the state of it right now, that's something that's unfortunate because regardless of if you like the gameplay or not, I felt like this game could have been saved. You could have added more game modes. You could have added online rooms and lobbies. You could have added a 1v1 mode that made cameos not really relevant or needed. That could have appeased the casuals or people like myself who didn't want to learn two different rosters. There was a lot of things that NetherRealm could have done to fix, air quotes here, fix Mortal Kombat 1. You know what I mean? And instead of doing the work, WB was like, you know what? Too many resources would be used to make this right, per se. Let's just focus on Injustice 3. And again, it's so unfortunate because we were vocal. I was vocal. A lot of you guys were vocal. We knew what we wanted changed. We called out all the issues. And to their credit, they fixed a lot of the microtransaction problems. They came out and said the game was not going to have support sooner than they did for Mortal Kombat 11. It's back and forth, man. It's a seesaw. But ultimately, it was around Ghostface where I felt like if NetherRealm came out swinging, they gave another year of this game, they made everything right and provided actual replayability and content, MK1 could be saved. But we didn't get there. Now, do I think a Kombat Pack 3 would have saved Mortal Kombat 1? In some ways I do think so, in some ways I don't. Again, it just depends. Would it have been just a cheap cash grab with those characters that got leaked and that was it? I mean, if they really didn't add more to the offline experience, they didn't add more to invasions, they didn't give us that 1v1 mode, it would have just felt like how it feels now. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if a Kombat Pack 3 could have saved this game. Which is why when they peeled off the Band-Aid and said it was over, I was rejoicing, because I'd rather move on and forget this game ever existed, to be completely honest, because I wanted to like this game. I wanted to try to overlook all of its problems, but ultimately I just couldn't. I couldn't, because, again, for the first time in a recent memory, this is a Mortal Kombat game that just took a step back in pretty much every facet. Now, again, I know a lot of you guys watching this are going to say, you're only saying this because you were bad at the game. Okay, objectively, sure. I didn't want to be good at this game. Why would I want to be good at arguably the worst Mortal Kombat game made in modern day? Why would I want to go through the hurdles and hassles of learning this roster, knowing that this game is now dead, not getting support, and the entire life of it was just filled with controversy? Say what you will about Mortal Kombat 11 controversy, it has nothing on Mortal Kombat 1's woes. I never wanted to get to this point, which is why even now, 2 years after launch, reflecting, it just sucks, because I'm seeing people excited about Fatal Fury, Street Fighter, Tekken, all these other fighting games. So much more support, so much longer, these devs being extremely transparent and making those changes. You know what I mean? But with NetherRealm, it would have been too much to do the work, it seems anyways. So, I don't know, man. Time flies. I can't believe it's been about a year since the expansion dropped. I can't believe it's been about 2 years since the game went out and was actually up for grabs. Feels like just the other day we were talking about the Kombat Pack leaks and things of that sort, and now it's like we're probably another 3 or 4 months until the Game Awards, where potentially Injustice 3 gets announced, and even then that game's probably not dropping till April or May. So we're still another like 8 or 9 months from a new game at the earliest. So strap in. Now, if you enjoy Mortal Kombat 1, that makes me happy. I hope your experience with this game is better than what mine's been. I'm sure if I wasn't a quote-unquote Mortal Kombat YouTuber, I'd probably be content with it in a lot of different ways. Then again, I'm like, you know what? I don't think so. Even if I was just even a bigger filthy casual than I already am, I don't know if I could look past the fact that there is no replayability other than Invasions mode. And even then, the support for that died so long ago. You know what I mean? I guess from a gameplay standpoint, I could have got better, but I just, again, don't see the point when me being a character loyalist, my boy Subby Wubby Sub-Zero is trash. He sucks. No amount of buffs really buffed him. The damage is so low. So maybe I've just been cursed from the jump with me being a Sub-Zero main. I should have got over it and picked someone else, but nah, man, it's just a shame, ultimately. I guess the silver lining in all of this, right? The burden that was Mortal Kombat 1, the disappointment that was Mortal Kombat 1 is we can only go up from here. I say that as I think about the idea of like 20 Dragon Kings being introduced from different multiverses in Mortal Kombat 13, and that's already like, really? I gotta be afraid of that happening now because they can't tell a fucking story. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm concerned about. Don't get me wrong, but when you fucked up this bad and objectively the sales point to this being a fail in comparison to previous games, they have to improve. They're going to be forced to listen, and hopefully they do. Hopefully this game is not a fully priced live service filling game. Hopefully we go back to 1v1s. Or if you're going to give us 2v2s, give us full-blown 2v2 tag mode. Don't just put one foot in, put both. Stand on business. Give us the fully fledged out tag team mode like we saw back in Mortal Kombat 9, etc. At least like that, the incentive would make sense because you're simply just using another character's moveset. You're not just using one of 4 different ambush commands or whatever. So, I wish this game could have just had a fully fledged out tag team mode. Maybe that would have been different. Maybe the reception would have been better. But with all these other games dropping, I don't know, man. NetherRealm can't miss again. And typically, they never do. This game's still missing stage fatals, man. We didn't get stage fatals in a modern Mortal Kombat game. Can you believe that? In like a decade plus, we've had pretty much every game had stage fatals, but this one, like, yeah, I know we got animalities, but fuck. If they could have given us more, I'm sure they would have, but blame the pandemic, blame Zaslav, hell, blame me for the reason why this game sucks. At this point, we're 2 years after the fact. I just hope they've learned from their mistakes, and I hope 2 years from now, hopefully, we're already looking forward to Mortal Kombat again, and hopefully, it's far better than Mortal Kombat 1. Not just in terms of, like, gameplay, but content, story, customization. I could spend 20 minutes talking about how the customization in this game is a fallacy. It's not even real. Unlocking skins means changing a color. It's pathetic. All the best skins in this game you have to pay for. Gone are the days of doing certain tasks, certain achievements. No, you had to pay for all the cool shit. Then half the classic skins that you could buy were censored. They're not even accurate to what they look like back then in the references. I don't know what's going on in NetherRealm, but something's got to give, something's got to change. Do I have faith? I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's really hard. We'll see what happens. But anyways, there you go. That's kind of my thoughts. Shout out to Super. I saw Super talk about this, I want to say yesterday, 2 days ago. And it just caught me by surprise. I can't believe it's been 2 years since the launch of Mortal Kombat 1. And I know I'm not the only one that's kind of still freaking out. Like, holy shit, yeah, that happened. Wow. Feels like just yesterday we were reacting to Reiko. What was it, San Diego Comic-Con or something? Like, all those reveals, man, were so hype. The 4-month pre-hype was amazing. I hope they continue to just make like 4 months, then the game comes out. 4 months of hype and marketing, boom, the game's out. It was beautiful. Seemed like every other 2 weeks we had a new character trailer dropping. It seemed like every day there was news. It was a good time. Little did we know when the game actually came out that we already had peaked. So anyways, guys, I love you. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry to ramble for 20 minutes or so, but I just kind of want to give my thoughts on this. As somebody that was there every single day, dropping 3 videos every single day for 4 months leading up to the game, and then after the game came out, was still actively, basically every single day, giving you updates on the issues, the good, the bad, the ugly. This is just how I'm feeling. Am I excited for Injustice 3? I mean, yeah, I like Batman. I hope it's Legacy, because that's kind of like the one redeeming quality of Injustice. The characters play like you remember. I wish Mortal Kombat was like that. But again, I'll digress. So yeah, I'm excited for the future. I'm worried about the future. I just hope things change. I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And before I go, in the comment section, let me know what's one thing you liked about Mortal Kombat 1 and what's one thing you did not like. I want to see what you guys have to say 2 years after. Can you do that for me? Hopefully you can. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, stepping on a crack, but I'm not super still.